शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष माम्
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। शारदा शारदाम्बोज वदनां वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं क्रियात्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अज्ञानान्धान्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुशेखरभारतीं Sadguru-Charanarvindabhyam Namaha. Namaste and welcome to this month's talk on Dharma Shastra and Nyaya Shastra series. Over to Dr. Jambunathan. He will start with the Dharma Shastra lecture.
Namaskaram to all. Thank you for joining for this session. Hari Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishtam Shishivarnam Sadurбhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvighnopashantehim Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Dashiva Shamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Gurum Paramparam. So, Hari Om, we'll continue with our Manusmriti topic. We have been discussing the second chapter. The first chapter was the one which talked about the creation up to how the Manusmriti actually came into place. And in the second chapter, the Varnashrama Dharmas are slowly being enumerated by Bhrigu Maharishi, who is actually, he's the one who is explaining the Manusmriti. He tells in the beginning that as per Manu's instructions, whatever he has learned from Manu, he is actually propagating to all of us. So we covered up to sloka number 70. It goes up to the Upanayana performance, and then for the Dvijas, which is the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. And it has also started the next important topic on Vedic studies. So, last week we were spending a few minutes on Lord Rama because it was coinciding with the consecration of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir. So we couldn't cover the 25 slokas. So we covered about 20 slokas last time. And the slokas from 75 to 100 are very, very important part of the Manusmriti. There are, like even Bhagavad Gita, all 700 slokas are important. We highlight some slokas are more important than the others. So the section number 75 to 100 in Manusmriti is a very important part. And when you cover itself, you will realize those things. It will be like, oh, this is a given, this is important. You will realize it yourself once we go through it. So now I'm starting with sloka number 71. The last sloka which we ended in the last session was Adyeshamanas Twachanto Yata Shastra Mutan Mukaham Brahmanjali Krito Adhyayo Laguvasa Jitendriyaham. It says how the student begins the learning of the Vedas. He should be wearing clean clothes. He should be facing the east. and facing the Guru with the Brahmanjali, which is keeping the hands like this, what we commonly do. And that's how we should start the Vedas. So that's how the last sloka. Now we go to sloka number 71. Brahmarambe avasane cha padau grahyo guru sada samhatya hastavadhyayam sahi brahmanjali smritaham. Brahmarambe avasane cha padau grahyo guru sada samhatya hastavadhyayam sahi brahmanjali smritaham. It says Brahmarambe avasane, both in the beginning as well as the end of the studies, padau grahyo guru sada. The student should grasp the feet of the teacher. Basically, you should touch the feet with the hands. You should touch the feet of the teacher, which is like a simple way of doing namaskara to the Guru. And during the chanting, you should be in Brahmanjali, which is the Anjali Mudra, which we talked about like this. So it basically says the Shishya should hold or grasp the feet of the Guru in the beginning of the study as well as the end of the study. And during the study, you should keep the hands in the Brahmanjali Mudra. These are all very self-explanatory, so we won't deal too much about it. Sloka number 72. Vyatyasta panina karyam. Vyatyasta panina karyam upasangrahanam guroho savyena savyah sprushtau dakshinena cha dakshinaham. So it says, Savyena Savyah Spruštau Dakshinene cha Dakshinaha, which means with his right hand, he should touch the right feet and the left hand, left feet. So actually the hands will get crisscross because when the Guru is facing you and you are touching, so it says with the right hand, you should touch the Guru's right feet, and with the left hand, you should touch the left Guru's feet. So it also even gives you instructions exactly how to touch the Guru's feet at the beginning and the end of the lecture. Vyatyasta panina karyam upasangrahanam guroho savyena savyah sprushtau dakshinena cha dakshinaham. So that is sloka 72. Sloka number 73. Adyeshamanam tu gurur nitya kalam atandritaha adishva bo iti bruyat viramo astviti cha aramet. Adyeshamanam tu gurur nitya kalam atandritaha adishva bo iti bruyat viramo astviti cha aramet. So basically, to the Sishya, what does the Guru say? It says bo viramo astviti. Basically, it says the Guru is the one who should say when to start. You should tell the Sishya, start now. And then the Guru should decide at what point, stop now. So it says basically the Guru has to give the instruction for both. Once the Sishya has grasped the feet, taken the Brahmanjali Mudra and seated in front of the Guru say, Bo Bruyat, means, okay, start now. And then whenever the Guru feels it is time, the study of time is enough, we should say, stop now. So that is basically, Guru is the one who should decide on the start and the stop time for the Shishya for that particular day. So that is actually very simple explanations, but Manu goes into the details of how should it go. Sloka number 74. Brahmanaha pranavam kuryat Adav antecha sarvada Sravatya nomkrute purvam parastascha vishiryate. Brahmanaha pranavam kuryad Adav antecha sarvada Sravatyo nomkrute purvam parastascha vishiryate. It says you should always start with pranavam. The Brahmana should always start the Vedas by pranavam, which is Omkara. So that's why I always say we start with Hari Om and also we end with Hari Om. Here it specifically says Om. It should start with Om. Adav Ante. Adav means beginning. Ante means end. Both in the beginning and in the end, the Sishya should start with Om. The Pranava Mantram should be started. And Manu is explaining if you don't do it that way, what will happen? Sravatya nomkrute purvam parastasha vishiryate. So it says if you don't start with Om, you will slowly forget whatever you read. If you don't end with Om, you will not even retain anything. So the difference is, if you forget to stay Om in the beginning and you still Vedas and end with Om, you will remember that day, but slowly you will forget the rest of the days. But if you don't end with Om, you will forget even whatever you read that particular day itself. So it says, Sravatya nomkrute purvam, all what you learned will be slowly gone. Parastacha Vishiryate means it gets shattered. You will not even remember anything if you don't end it with Om. So start the Vedic study with Om and end the Vedic study with Om. So first you have to hold the Guru's feet, then you have to sit in Brahmanjali Mudra, then the Guru says start, and then the Guru decides when to stop. And the Sishya should always start with Om and end with Om. So these are up to Sloka 74. Now coming from Sloka 75 to 100 are the most important slokas, or one of the set of most important slokas in Manusmriti. Sloka number 75. Prakulan paryupasinah pavitraischaiva pavitah pranayamais tribihi putas tata omkaram arhati. Prakulan paryupasinah pavitraischaiva pavitah pranayamais tribihi putas tata omkaram arhati. So it now goes a little bit more detail. It says prakulan paryupasina pavitram. The pavitram is darba. The darba grass, the student should be seated on a darba grass or like a darba mat, and the end of the darba should be facing east. And he should also carry darba in his hand. We always hold, the pavitram with darba in our hand. He says only by sitting in the darba mat and wearing the darba or keeping the darba in his hands, he becomes pavitram. He becomes purified. So to start the Vedic studies or doing Vedas, you should be seated on darba grass, which is the end with the darba nuni, the points facing eastwards, and also should hold the darba in his hands. And then he should do pranayam three times pranayama. Only after he does this, he even becomes eligible to say Omkaram. Putasta means not Budastam. It is Putastam. Puta means to get purified. Putatma, it comes to Vishnu Sarana. Putatma means one who is a very purified Atma, Putatma. Buddhatma means one who is the master or the creator of the Buddhas, Panchabuddhas. Putatma means purified Atma. So Puta means it gets purified. Omkaram Arhati, even then only it becomes even qualified to tell Omkara, because in the previous slokas Manu was telling you should start with Omkara, but even before Omkara you should do these things. Sit in the darba grass, have darba in his hand, and then do pranayama 3 times and do it. That is a very important. If you look at the 4th chapter Bhagavatam, it goes through Prithu Maharaja chapters. Prithu Maharaja, the one who actually milks the cow of the earth. Prithu Maharaja has a very big family lineage. Prithu's father is Venu. Venu was a very deadly person. Actually, he gets killed by even the rishis because he was so bad. But that's a very interesting story. Prithu comes, and Prithu has a son, Antardana, then Havirdana, then Havirdana's son is Barihishat. And this comes just before the Puranjanopakyanam, which is an allegorical drama in the 4th chapter Bhagavatam. This Barihishat is always called as Prachina Barhis. If you look at the Bhagavatam, it will be called Prachina Barhis, because he always sits on the darba gas with the east pointing eastwards. His name itself is Prachina Barhis, means he always will be seated only on darba grass with the darba pointing eastwards. And that's why in every time he does so much of homas, everybody will be made to sit only like that, it seems. So he even got the title Prachina Barhis because of following this method up to the textbook guideline. And Prachina Barhi's sons became the Prachetas, and Prachetas are the one who listened to Rudra Gita from Lord Shiva itself. Very, very interesting chapter. You go through the 4th chapter, all this will come. One of Prithu's chapter, then Antardana's chapters, Havidana's chapter, then Prachina Barhis, then the Puranjanopakyanam comes in between, and then the chapter of the Prachetas comes with the Rudra Gita. It ends with the Rudra Gita. So these are all very important things. I just wanted to bring this because this is relevant to Manusmriti, that particular sloka. He himself got the title Prachina Barhis because he always follows this Manu rule perfectly. Next comes sloka number 76. Akaram chapi ukaram cha makaram cha prajapatihi vedatrayan nirudahad bur bhuva suvaritihi cha. Akaram chapi ukaram cha makaram cha prajapatihi vedatrayan nirduhad bur bhuva suvariti cha. So it says bur bhuva suva. Akaram, ukaram, makaram. Akara, Ukara, Makara, these three alphabets together make Om. Bhurbhava Swaha, which is called Vyahruti. It says Prajapati here refers to Brahma, like the Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahma from the Vedas took from the Rig Veda. Veda Trayan means Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. From Rig Veda he took one alphabet. From Yajurveda he took one alphabet. From Samaveda he took one alphabet. That's why Akara, Ukara, Makara comes. Om comes. Then same thing, he takes the word Bu from Rig Veda, Bhuva from Yajurveda, and Suva from Samaveda. Bhurbhuva Swaha comes. So it seems he takes these three words Om, Bhurbhuva Swaha. So that is the word, and this is all taken from the three Vedas. Prajapati himself chose these particular words, and so this is actually the next slokas go to the description of the origin of Gayatri Mantra. So that's why you will see all the details of the Gayatri Mantra coming there. So Brahma actually creates Om and Bhurbhosva from the three Vedas. Veda Trayan from the three Vedas. He takes these three. Then sloka number 77. Tribhya evetu vedebhyam padam padam aduduhad taditryocho asyaha savitriyaha parameshti prajapatihi. Tribhya evetu vedebhyah padam padam aduduhad taditryo so asyaha savitriyaha parameshti prajapatihi. So again, parameshti prajapati here refers to the Brahma, the Hiranyagarbha, and here it says he picked up the next three lines also from the three Vedas. Tribhya evetu vedebhya padam. So he made Om, he made Bhurbhava. So then comes Tatsa Vitruvare Inyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonha Prachodayat. So those are the three padams. So that's why we call Gayatri as Panchapada. Om is one, Bhurbhava Swaha, Tatsa Vitruvare Inyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonha Prachodayat. It's called Panchapada Gayatri because it is, if you split everything, 5 padas come. But the 3 padas mentioned here are, so again, if you go to the explanation, it will tell you exactly which part of the Rig Veda the Tatsa Vitruvare Inyam come, which part of the Yajurveda the Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi comes, and which part of Samaveda the Diyo Yonha Prachodayat comes. So basically, the Prajapati takes these 3 important padams from 3 important Vedas again, and he coins this the 3 padams of the Gayatri. So this is again the origin of Gayatri. Where does he get Omkara? Where does he get Bhurbhoswaha? So basically, it is essentially the essence of the 3 Vedas. So if you take the word Om, Bhurbhoswaha, the entire Gayatri mantra, it's essentially the essence of the 3 Vedas. That's how Prajapati creates this mantra. Edat aksharam etamcha japan vyahruti purvikam sandhyayor vedavid vipro veda punyena yujyate. That is sloka number 78. Edat aksharam etamcha japan vyahruti purvikam sandhyayor vedavid vipro veda punyena yujyate. So it says the Vipra means again the Brahmanas. The Vipra is Brahmanas. The Veda Vipra, the one Veda with Vipro. Veda with Vipro means the Vipra who is well known in the Vedas. Veda Punyena Yujyate, gets the merit of the Vedas. How? The last line ends like that. The Veda with Vipro, Veda Punyena Yujyate means the Veda with Brahmana gains the Punya of the Vedas. How? Edat Aksharam Etamcha Japan Vyahruti Purvikam Sandhyayor, which means this mantra with the Omkara and the Vyahruti, which is the Om, the Bhurbhosva is called the Vyahruti. One who chants this Gayatri mantra in the Sandhyas, which is the morning Sandhya and the evening Sandhya periods, the Sandhya periods, he is the one who gets all the merits of the Veda. So basically it tells the Gayatri mantra's origin, and the Veda with the Brahmana who knows the Vedas need to chant this Gayatri mantra during the Sandhya periods. Only he gets the merit of the Vedas. So that's what it says here, the importance of the Gayatri mantra chanting. Then comes sloka number 79. Sahasra krutvas tvabyas bahiretat trikam dvijaham mahato apyenaso masat tvacho ahir vimuchyate. Sahasra krutvas tvabyasya bahiretat trikam dvijaham mahato api anaso masat tvacho ahir vimuchyate. Little difficult words here. Mahato apyenaso masat tvache. The last line is tvache ahir vimuchyate. Tvach means tvak comes from skin. Ahir is snake. Ahir Budnya Samhita itself, there is a name in Pancharatra. Ahir Budnya Samhita comes from the one who wears the snake as his garland, which is Lord Shiva tells that part of the Pancharatra Samhita is called Ahir Budnya Samhita. That's where the Sudarshana mantra comes. Ahir means snake. There's a lot of names for the snakes in Sanskrit. Ahir is one, Bhujangam is another name. So Ahir Tvacha Vimuchyate means Tvach skin. We know the skin, the snake sloughs its skin off. Every time you can see sometimes when you go to the forest or sometimes even in the ant hills, you can see the sloughed skin. The snake always sloughs a part of its skin every month or so. There's a time period and it gets new skin. So like the snake gives off its skin effortlessly, Sahasrakrit Tobhyasa Bahireta Trikam Dujaha Masat. For 1 month, if a Brahmana chants Sahasrakrit 1000 times, Bahiretat, in the outside, not inside your home. So it should be like a river bank or a forest under a very good tree, like the one of the divine trees. You sit under in outside place and you chant Gayatri mantra 1000 times for 1 month continuously. You will be rid of all Mahato Apyenaso. All your great sins will all get destroyed, like effortlessly, like how the skin of the snake effortlessly falls down. Also your sins also will effortlessly falls down. So basically it says the Brahmana who chants Gayatri mantra 1000 times a day for 1 full month, all his great sins will go away, like the skin shedding its skin, like a snake shedding its skin. So that's the example which Manu gives. Sloka number 80. Etarcho visamyukta kalecha kriya swaya brahma kshatriya vidyonir garhanam yati sadushu. Etarcha visamyukta kalecha kriya swaya brahma kshatriya vidyonir garhanam yati sadushu. Now Manu says Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vid is a short form of Vaishya. Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, Nirgarhanam, Yadi Sadhushu will all be scolded or will be condemned by the sadhus if they don't perform this Gayatri in the timely time. That's what the slogan. The last line says, Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishyas will be condemned by sadhus. It's a when will the sadhus condemn them? Kalecha kriya swaya, when they are not performing this Gayatri according to the specific time periods, then all these three will be condemned or scolded by the sadhus. So again, he says the importance of the chanting the Gayatri mantra. The first he gives a positive outcome. Your sins will all go. The second he says if you don't do it, it gives a negative outcome. You will be condemned by the all these sadhus. Next comes the sloka number 81. Omkara purvikas tisro mahavyahrityo avyayaha tripada chaiva savitri vigneyam brahmano mukam. Omkara purvikas tisro mahavyahrityo avyayaha tripada chaiva savitri vigneyam brahmano mukam. It again says with the Omkara as the Purvikam and the Mahavyahruti means Bhurbo Swa is the Mahavyahruti and the Tripada, the Tatsavitravarinyam Bargo Devasi Dimihi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. This is the entire Savitri. And no Vignaya means no, this is the Brahmano Mukam. Brahmano Mukam means the face of Brahman. It can be taken two ways. Face of Brahman could be really mean the Brahman, the Supreme Lord, or they also call Vedas as Brahman, because Brahma Yajna means you're actually chanting the Vedas, is what we call Brahma Yajna in our daily routine. So the Gayatri, which has all the Omkara, the 3 Vyahurtis and the 3 Padas, know this as the face of the Brahman itself. That's what Manu's face. A face of Brahman means face of the Supreme Lord or face of the Vedas itself. So basically, you can only enter into Vedas by knowing this Gayatri mantra. So that's what it says in Sloka number 81. Sloka number 82. Yo adite ahan etam त्रीणि वर्षान् यतन्द्रितः स ब्रह्म परम अभ्येति वायुभूतः कमूर्तिमान् यो अदिते अहन् एतां त्रीणि वर्षान् यतन्द्रितः स ब्रह्म परम अभ्येति वायुभूतः कमूर्तिमान्. Here the ka comes, if you Sanskrit scholars are here, the ka gagana, the second ka is mentioned here, not the first ka. If you look at the Sanskrit word, if you say the second ka is kam boyur jodir apa kam boyur jodir apa prithvi, the panchabhutas, the second ka in the Sanskrit represents the akasha tattva, which is the akasha, which is the first panchabhuta which comes. So kam, when you put the second kam, put a thing that is how it is mentioned in our Vedas. Kam represents akasha. Vayu Bhuta, you can understand there it says Vayu and also says Kam Murtiman. It says Ahan means Ahar means daily. Ahar means daily. If one keeps doing it, Trini Varshan, for 3 years in a row, Yatandritaha means without any laziness, that person who does this Gayatri mantra, this chanting this 1,000 times for 3 years in a row, Sa Brahma Param Abhyeti Vayubhuta Kamurtiman means he will become as thin as air, he will become as all pervading as Akasa, and he will become one with Brahman itself. Brahma Param Abhyeti. So it says there is nothing else you need to do. Basically, it says if you do this Gayatri mantra for 3 years in a row without any laziness, it says you will become thin as air, all pervading as Akasa, and you will merge with Brahman itself. So that is the Falashruti. If you chant for 1 month, all the sins will be gone. If you do for 3 years in a row, you will become Brahman itself. That's what Manu is telling about in Sloka number 82. Sloka number 83. Ekaksharam param brahma pranayamaha param tapaha savitriyastu param nasti maunat satyam vishishyate. Ekaksharam param brahma pranayamaha param tapaha savitriyastu param nasti maunat satyam vishishyate. Vishishyate means special or better. Ekaksharam param brahma means the Ekaksharam means the one word is Om. Om is called Ekaksharam. Though it is cast 3 aksharas, when they meant Ekaksharam, it means Om is represents Brahman itself. Ekaksharam param brahma. Pranayama param tapaha. Doing pranayama, breath control, is the greatest tapa. Savitriyastu param nasti. Savitri again means the Gayatri mantra. There is nothing greater than this mantra. Param nasti. Maunat satyam vishishyate. Maunat satyam means keeping quiet is good, but speaking truth is better. So the truth is better than keeping silent. So Manu says these things. Om is the highest Brahman itself. Pranayama is the greatest tapas. Chanting the Gayatri, there is nothing better than that. And speaking the truth is better than keeping silent. So silent itself is good, but speaking truth is better than silence. So coming to Sloka number 84. Sharanti sarva vaidikyo juhoti yajati kriyaha aksharam tu aksharam nyeyam brahma chaiva prajapatihi. Sharanti sarva vaidikyo juhoti yajati kriyaha aksharam tu aksharam nyeyam brahma chaiva prajapatihi. See, aksharam tu aksharam. It gives double meaning. Aksharam means alphabet. Aksharam also means indestructible. So that the term comes, Sharam is destructible. Akshara means indestructible. In fact, the alphabets are indestructible. That's why they're also called Aksharam. That we call aksharas, because all aksharas are indestructible. Because according to our Puranas, when goddess Sati died, and Dr. Shiva was carrying Sati's body with him. He never want to get rid of Sati's body. And only Vishnu with the Sudarshana Chakra cut this goddess Sati's body, and her parts fell on different parts of the world. And she fell into 51 parts, and these 51 parts became the 51 Aksharas, and also became the 51 Devi Pitas. That is the story. So because it comes from the mother goddess body itself, these are indestructible, the Aksharas, the alphabets. So Aksharam to Aksharam means this Akshara is an indestructible Akshara, says, but he gives one thing in the first line. Sharanti Sarva Vaidikyo Juhoti Ajati Kriya means all the yajnas, all the homas, these are all can be destroyed. Sharanti means all this can be destroyed, but Aksharam to Aksharam, the Om is never destroyable. Om is always indestructible. Nyayam Brahma Chaiva Prajapatihi. Know this Om is Brahman and Prajapati. This is it looks like a very simple line here. There is the entire 5th chapter of Prashnopanishad is for describing this line. The Om represents the higher Brahman and the lower Brahman. So Brahman cha Prajapati means Prajapati represents the Saguna Brahman, the lower Brahman, and Brahman, the word Brahman represents the Nirguna Brahman, the higher Brahman. Know this Om is completely indestructible. Even at the time of dissolution, all the Vedic homas, everything will go away. But this Om is indestructible. This Om represents both Brahman and Prajapati, which means Om represents the higher Brahman and the lower Brahman. I can only tell this much. The entire 5th chapter of Prashnopanishad goes to describe how Om represents both higher Brahman and lower Brahman. So that is there. And even in Kathopanishad, Lord Yama mentions to Nachiketa, no Nachiketa, Om is both the higher Brahman and the lower Brahman. That's only a one-line statement mentioned in Kathopanishad, like what Manu mentions. But the 5th chapter of Prashnopanishad describes in detail both the, how Om represents both higher and lower. And it is very, very important because the lower Brahman can be obtained by Omkara Upasana. The higher Brahman can be attained by Omkara Vichara. So there is a difference between Omkara Upasana and Omkara Vichara. By Omkara Upasana, you attain Saguna Brahman. By Omkara Vichara, you attain higher Brahman, the Nirguna Brahman. I will tell only this much, but Manu is giving the important statement here. That Om represents both higher and lower Brahman. Vidhi Yajnas Japa, now sloka number 85. Vidhi Yajnas Japa Yajno Vishishto Dashabir Gunaihi Upamsu Shat Shatagunaha Sahastro Manasa Smrutaha. Vidhi Yajnas Japa Yajno Vishishto Dashabir Gunaihi Upamsu Shat Shatagunaha Sahastro Manasa Smrutaha. So you hear 3 numbers. Dashabi means Dasham is 10. Shatam is 100. Sahasram is 1000. So Mani is giving some numbers here. 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times. What is that he says is Vidhi Yajnas Japa Yajno. Vidhi Yajna means you are doing all the sacrifices. Soma Yajnam, all the sacrifices, the Yajnas mentioned in the Agamas, the Maharudra Yajnam, whatever the Yajnams you are doing. Japa Yajnam. Instead of doing the Homa, if you do Japa in a very calm and quiet place, that is 10 times better, it seems. Instead of the Vidhi Yajnas, Japa Yajnam is 10 times better. If you remember the 25th sloka in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi Stavaranam Himalayah. Lord Krishna says, Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi Stavaranam Himalayah. Among the Yajnas, I am Japa Yajna. And among the immovables, I am the Himalayas. That is the 10th chapter when the Vibhuti Yoga. So Krishna himself says Japa Yajna is, I am Japa Yajna itself. So Japa Yajna, and Manu is telling here, instead of the Vidhi Yajnas, Japa Yajna is 10 times better. And even in that, Upamsu Shat Shatagunaha, the Japa Yajna done, which is inaudible to others. You can hear it to yourself, but others cannot hear it. That is called Upamshu. That is 100 times better. And then the yajna with the mental repetition without even moving your mouth, which is Manasa Smritaha, is 1000 times better. So Japa Yajna, which is little bit audible, you say the mantras a little loud, that is 10 times better than doing the yajnas. telling the japams with only audible to yourself, not audible to others, that is called upamshu. That is 100 times better. And mental repetition of mantras is 1000 times better. So Manu is telling, and that's how it goes in order. A sloka number 86. A paka yajñash chatvaro vidhi yajña samanvitaha sarvetu jaba yajñasya kalam narhanti shodashim. A paka yajñas chatvaro vidhi yajña samanvitaha sarvetu japa yajñasya kalam narhanti shodashim. Again, another number comes shodashim. 16. Shodashi is number 16. So it tells it is not even equal to 16 times. What is it says is Paka Yajna, Vidhi Yajna. It divides into 2 again. You can remember, if you remember, there are 21 Yajnas, 7 Paka Yajnas, 7 Havir Yajnas, and 7 Soma Yajnas, which will come. The Havir Yajnas and Soma Yajnas come out under the Vedic rituals. The 7 Paka Yajnas come under the Grihya Sutra and Shrauta Sutra. But all these 21 are important. He is just summarizing them. He doesn't give the details. It will come in the later chapter. The Paka Yajnas and Vidhi Yajnas put together is not equal to Japa Yajna. That's what basically the meaning of the sloka is. Even all the Paka Yajnas and Vidhi Yajnas done together, it is only 1/16 of the power of the Japa Yajna. So again, Manu is emphasizing the importance of Japam, because the next sloka is very, very important. Sloka number 87. Jape naivetu samsiddhayet brahmano natra samshayah kuryad anyan nava kuryan maitro brahmana uchyate. He gives the definition of a brahmana. Jape naivetu samsiddhayet brahmano natra samshayah kuryad anyan nava kuryan maitro brahmana uchyate. Which means a brahmana attains his power only by japam yajnam, nothing else. So a brahmana means should be doing some japam every day. You can do Narayana japam, Gayatri japam, Shiva japam, whatever it is. To become a brahmana, the brahmana gets his power. Samsiddhayet means he gets all his siddhis only by japam. So a brahmana should be doing japam every day. That's what he says. Na atra samshayah. There is nothing better than that for a brahmana except to do japam. Then he puts one more quality. Kuryad anyan nava kuryan. Whether he does other things or not, maitro brahmana uchyate. Maitro means mitra. He should be a friend to all. So a brahmana should always have a friendly attitude to people. One who has this, the antagonistic attitude cannot be called a brahmana. So he is giving 2 definitions of brahmana. One who is chanting japam every day, and one who has got a friendly attitude to all. Brahmana uchyate, only he can be called a brahmana. That's what Manu is giving the definition. So whatever you do or not, he says, do a japam, be friendly to all, you can be called a brahmana. So that is what branch. And then comes the next slokas are very fast. I'll quickly move through at least to sloka 95, because the next slokas all of you know. It will be very easy, but they are all important slokas. Sloka number 88. Indriyanam vicharatam visheshva apaharishu samyame yatam adishtet vidwan yanteva vajinam. Indriyanam vicharatam visheshu apaharishu samyame yatam atishtet vidwan yanteva vajinam. So it says, now I'm going to talk to you about what are indriyas. These indriyas are dangerous because visheshu apaharishu. It will take you out to apahara means it takes you into the vishayas, all the worldly matters, the senses like your eyes, your ears, your mouth, everything is always directed outward. You want to keep on seeing something, you want to hear something, music, you want to keep eating something, so basically all these indriyas take you away from all these things. These indriyas are dangerous because they take you to the objects. Samyame yatnam atishtet. Samyame yatnam atishtet means by yatnam means by practice. Samyame, you should control these indriyas. Samyame yatnam atishtet vidwan enteva vajinam. Again, Vajasane Upanishad. Vaji again is a name for horse. Ashwa, Vaji, these are all different names for the horse. Like a charioteer controls the horse, the vidwan should control his indriyas. So basically it says indriya nigraham. Controlling the indriyas is a very important thing. Indriyana vicharatam vishesha apahar. The Indriyas take you to the other objects. So the Vidwan, like how a good charioteer controls the horses, should by practice control all these Indriyas and keep it under control. So it is talking about Indriya Nigraham as another important practice for all the, especially the Dvijas. Ekadashendriyan ahuhu yani purva manishinaham tani samyak pravakshyami yadavad anupurvashah. Ekadashen indriyanir ahur yani purve manishinaham tani samyak pravakshyami yatavad anupurvashah. So Manu is telling, I'm going to tell you about all the 11 indriyas. He says Ekadasham. Dasham is 10, Ekadasham is 11. Ekadasham, 11 indriyas, Purve Manishinaha, like how the rishis have told before. I'm going to tell you exactly like that. What are these 11 indriyas? Now, according to Shloka number 90, Shotram Tvak Chakshushi, Jivva Nasika Chaiva Panchami, Payupastam Hastapadam, Vak Chaiva Dashami Smrita. Shotram Tvak Chakshushi, Jivva Nasika Chaiva Panchami, Payu Upastam Hastapadam, Vak Chaiva Dashami Smrita. He enumerates the ear, the skin, the eye, the tongue, the nose. All this is 1-5 group, Panchami. Payu Upasta means the anus, the genital organ, the hand, the feet, and the organ of speech. This is another 5. Put together 5 plus 5 is 10. So he enumerates these are the 10 indriyas. Then going to Shloka number 91. I'm going quickly because most of them would have known all these indriyas and all. Just to, and Buddhi indriyani panchaisham, Shotradin anupurvashaham, Karmendriyani panchaisham, Paivadini prachakshate. Buddhi indriyani panchaisham, Shotradini purvashaham, Karmendriyani panchaisham, Paivadini prachakshate. We call Buddhi indriya and Karmendriya. We call Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Shotram Adi, beginning from the ear, skin, eye, eyes, tongue and nose. All these 5 are called Buddhi Indriya or Jnanendriya. Payu, Upastam, Hastam, Padam, Vak, the anus, the genital organs, the hands, the feet, as well as the organ of speech. These are called Karmendriyas. This is how it has been told. It tells the entire 10 list again. Then comes Shloka number 92. Ekadasham Manonyeyam Swaguno Ubayatmakam Yasmin Jite Jita Vetau Bhavatah Panchako Ganau. Ekadasham Manonyeyam Swaguno Ubayatmakam Yasmin Jite Jita Vetau Bhavatah Panchako Ganau. He says the Ekadasham, the 11th Indriya, is called Manas. The mind is called the 11th Indriya. Swaguno Ubayatmakam, by its quality, it is twofold. Ubayatmakam means it is dual. And this dual nature of the mind, there is a lot of explanation. We'll go into it sometimes later. The dual nature of the mind, some say it's mind and intellect. Sometimes the good mind and the bad mind. The mind which attaches to the Jnanendriya and mind which attaches to the Karmendriya. Because unless the mind is there, the Indriya's functioning is not efficient. For example, even if you are seeing somebody in front of you, but your mind is thinking something, you will not see the person in front of you. That is very common. We call them daydreaming. You're standing in front of me, you don't even see me, man. It's when people are, when their mind is not there, even the Indriyas are there, the Indriyas are not functioning. So you need the mind to be along with the Indriyas for the Indriyas functioning to be known. So that is why it says the Panchagana, the mind has 2 features. Ubhayatmakam. The other feature is mind can make emotions, but mind can also make decisions. So there's an emotional part of the mind, there is a decision making part of the mind. So that is also the 2 qualities of the mind. And then other thing is mind is the one which puts you in good things. Mind is also the thing which puts you in bad things. So mind has got good and evil character. So good and evil, emotion and decision, going with Karmendriya and Jnanendriya. So these are the 2 different qualities of the mind. Yasmin Jite Jita Vetau. One who wins the mind wins everything. That's basically Manu is telling. He first told control the Indriyas. Now he is telling control your mind. One who controls the mind, Jita Vetau, he wins over everything. That's what Manu is telling in that slokam. And Sloka number 93. Indriyanam prasangena doshamrutya samshayam sanyamestu tanyeva tata siddhim niyachati. Indriyanam prasangena dosham asamshayam sanniyamya tu tanyeta tataha siddhim niyachati. So it tells two things about the mind and also the indriyas. It tells all the 11 indriyas put together. Say indriyanam prasangena includes all the 11 indriyas. Karmendriya 5, Jnanendriya 5 and mind is 1. He says dosham ruchatya asamshayam sanniyamestu tanyeva tat siddhim niyachati. Again, he says the importance of control. Sanniyamya means even the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called some called Samyama Yoga, some called Dhyana Yoga, some called Samyama Yoga. Basically, is the control. One who is controlling all these intriyas, tat siddhim niyachati, he will get everything. But one who is not controlling the indriyas, he will get only dosham asamshayam. Don't be even, it is don't have any doubts about it. Basically, one who is not controlling the indriyas will have problems. One who controls all these indriyas will get what he wants. Tat siddhim niyachati. Now sloka number 94. Na jatu kama kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuya eva abhivardate. Very important sloka. Na jatu kamaha kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva bhuya eva abhivardate. So it says desire. Because the mind has desire, what Manu is telling is, people think if I eat, my stomach is full, my desire is gone. So he thinks, Manu is telling the opposite. By fulfilling desires, only it is abhivardade. It will only grow further and further. So everybody keeps on having desires. And if you keep on spending your life fulfilling one desire after another desire, there is no end. It is like how he says, Havisha Krishnavartmeva, which means in the homa, you are pouring havis. The more and more you keep pouring havis into the homa, the ghee, the fire will only go more and more. Like how the havis keeps on the fire growing more and more, the fulfilling desire will only keep moving more and more. There will be you cannot attain control of that of the indriya. So people think the indriyas of desires, I want to eat something, I want to see something, I want to touch something. If you try to keep on fulfilling the desires, they only keep multiplying. They will never come under control. It is like pouring more and more havis to the yajna fire. So that is what it says. So basically, if you look at the trend, number one, if you look at the trend of the sloka so far, one, he tells the origin of the Gayatri mantra. Number two, he tells the importance of the Gayatri mantra. Number three, he tells the Brahmana should be doing japam and also be friendly to all. Number four, he is telling Indriya control, bring your Indriyas under control. And number five is telling bring your mind under control. So basically, Manu is giving, before even is telling you to do all the homas and pujas, he is telling you the most important things. Do japam, be friendly, control your senses, control your mind. If you look at the summary of the slokas which we discussed so far, this is the essential points what he is telling here. Sloka number 95. I think I will stop with this today. Yaschaitan prapniyat sarvan yaschaitan kevalam styajet prapanat sarvakamanam parityago vishishyate. Very, very important sloka again. Yaschaitan prapniyat sarvan yaschaitan kevalam styajet prapanat sarvakamanam parityago vishishyate. Again, vishishyate means better. It is more special. The term, Vishishta Advaita. That's what Ramanuja called. My Advaita is special Advaita. Vishishta Advaita. Vishishta is special or more important or something like that. Manu says, Prapniyat Sarvan. One person who gets all his desires fulfilled, like he's a big king or what a powerful position, whatever he desires, he can get it. So person Sarvan Kaman, all his desires can be fulfilled. There is other one, Kevalam Stajet. He rejects all these desires. Kevalam Stajet means all, he says, I don't want this, and Tajet means he renunciates the desires. between these two, the one who can get all the desires fulfilled and the one parityago, one who can sacrifice or renunciate all these desires, the second one is better. That's what Manu says. So it says, Yaschaitan prapniyat sarvan, Yaschaitan kevalam stajeti. He puts two people, one who can fulfill all his desires, one who can renunciate and throw away these desires. Between these two, between the one who can fulfill his desires and one who could throw away the desires, the second one is Vishishyate, he is better. So again, he ends that saying, one who renounces the desires, one who controls the mind, the indriyas, he is better than other persons. So with that, I think we will stop the slokas from Manusmriti today. And again, the next few slokas will continue on the importance of indriya control. And because the whole idea of shastras is this: when we learn more and more shastras and do more pujas or homas or japas, these are the things you have to develop. So if you are doing pujas 1,000 times a day, but you are not friendly to people, you cannot control your indriyas, you can't control your mind, it doesn't serve the purpose. So that's why Manu is putting all these things even before he goes to explain all the yajnas and the homas, everything in the chapters. He is telling what are the basic qualities we need, or basic qualities which have to be gained by performing all these shastric activities. ओम मंगलम कौशलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाप्ते चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मंगलम श्रियकांताय कल्याण निधे निधे अर्तिराम श्री वेंकट निवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम. Please go ahead, Padmanabhan ji.
Thank you, Dr. Jambunathan. Nidaya Sri Svesham Vidaya Guruvandanam Balanam Sukhabodhaya Kriyate Tarka Sangraha. So now, as we were getting into the Tarka Sangraha, right now we are entering into the phase where the most important thing is being discussed, which is the Jnanam. In the Jnanam, we started with the discussion last week. So we said the last section we discussed was Tadvati Tat Prakaro Anubhavo Yatartha. So I think the one before that actually. So संस्कार मात्र जन्यम ज्ञानम स्मृति तद भिन्नम ज्ञान अनुभव है सद्विविधः यथार्थ अयथार्थश्च. So basically we started the jnanam as a discussion, and next few chapters are going deeper and deeper into understanding what this jnanam is, what this knowledge is, and how we are going to explore this further. So this is the most we are getting. Previously, we were defining the definitions of other things that are related to what we need to understand. Right now, it's the jnana. So, what is jnana, and what are the two types of jnana? This is smriti and anubhava. Smriti goes back to remembrance. So we always have recollections of the past. So that's something which happened in the past, and we try to recollect them. So that is based on past. That is based on experiences. So that is what we call it as a smriti. Anything else is anubhava. Anubhava means that it is not in the remembrance, it's an experience. So that is basically what is happening right now. So knowledge by itself is an experience. It appears and leaves. It can leave impressions and which causes recollections. So we now get into anubhava is basically right now it's happening. So in that anubhava, there are two different types of experiences that are happening, which is one is called the yathartha anubhava and the ayathartha anubhava. Tadvati tat prakaro anubhavah yatartah yata rajate idam rajatam iti jnanam saiva prame iti prame uchyate. That means if you split it, sa eva prama iti uchyate. So this is called prama. What is prama? Basically, tadvati tat prakaro jnana. So whatever it is there, you understand it as it is in its real form. So you see a silver cup there, a silver gatha. You understand that it is a silver gatha, and we understand the nature of the silver gatha. There is a dharma-dharmi relationship. Basically, the dharmi is the silver gatha, a silver pot, and the nature is that it has a silverness into it. So this is the way in which you understand and ideally understand the object as it is. It's the yathartha anubhava. And it is called as the prama. And The other thing is called as the ayathartha anubhava, which is a false understanding. So you walk in the beach and then you see something shining. So the previous day you might have seen something shining in the jewelry shop, and we call it as a silver, right? So now you think it is a silver in the ground. Then when you go nearby, then you realize that it is a pearl which is there, or the conch which is there. So the silver has been initially in our mind, the silver got overimposed on the conch. So initially we had a false understanding. When we go nearby, we see that as a real understanding. So tad abhavati tat prakaro anubhavah tat ayathartah yata tuttal idam rajatam iti jnanam sa eva brahma iti uchyate. So the first one is called as a prama. Prama means it's a true knowledge. The second one is a brahma. Brahma is a false knowledge. So this is the only time we are going to talk about Brahma. After that, we are not going to talk about Brahma because it is not useful for us. We need to understand more about the Brahma. So basically, this is so in the Dharma Dharmi relationship, we see the conch over there, but with our not a clear recollection, we impose the silverness on that. So we don't have a true relationship established on that. So that is how we understood the conch as a silver coin or silver jewelry out there. Then what is the yathartha anubhava? So we discuss more into the yathartha anubhava. Yathartha anubhava chaturvidah pratyaksham anumiti upamiti sabda bedhat tat karanamapi chaturvidam pratyaksham anumana upamanam sabda beda. So there are now we get into the yathartha anubhava, which we also call it as a true cognition. The true cognition is classified into 4 different sources of knowledge. The krama, which is the pratyaksha, anumiti, upamiti, and shabda. Then to understand that is also related to, and it produces a cognition, which is also 4 types. There are 2 different things. One is a pratyaksha as a true source of knowledge, true cognition, and the instrument that it produces is also called as pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, and shabda. So one is a jnanam, another is a prama. So we'll go deeper into all these 4 sources of knowledge. And this is, so we start with pratyaksha pramana as the first knowledge source, and we'll delve into it now. Both the shastras of NYAYA and the Vaisheshika, both the Tarka shastras, accept the 4 as the cognition that can internalize the world. And these 4 are the sources of knowledge. We call it as the pramana. So we call it as the pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, upamana pramana, and shabda pramana. So what is a pratyaksha pramana? And before going into pratyaksha pramana, we have to understand some other terms to establish what the pratyaksha pramana is going to talk about. So there are a couple of terms that we go through this. So the first one we start with asadharanam. Yeah. Asadharanam karanam karanam. Karyaniyata purva vritti karanam karyam pradabhava pratiyogi. So there are 3 different terminologies that are introduced here. So asadharanam karanam karanam. So we talked about karanam in the previous step. So what is a karanam? Karanam is actually an instrument, right? So we call it as an instrumental case or something like that. So that's a karanam. That's asadharanam karanam is karanam. That is a unique factor that is involved in a function, and that is what we call as a karanam. Now, we introduced a word called karanam. So what is this karanam again? Karya niyata purva vritti karanam. So in the Nyaya Shastra we say karanam vina karyam nasti. Without reason, there is no effect that is going to happen. You always need to have a reason to explain everything, right? So that is the logical way of explaining anything. So now you have to understand what is this karanam. It says karya niyata purva vritti karanam. So whenever whenever a karyam, whenever an object is formed, the closest time or the closest state before the object is formed, and that is what is transforming the object into what a karyam is. And that is what we call it as a Karana. So Niyata Purva Vrittitva means it is very close to its newer formation before the Karyam is created. And what is a Karyam now? Now this is another word he is introducing here. Karyam Prabhava Pratiyogi. So now let's see what that means. So now here we have a sari here. So sari, we call it as a pata. In Sanskrit, a cloth, right? The cloth is here, pata. Pataha asti. So in this, we say pataha asti. The cloth is there. But we also say gataha nasti. So this is a part, pataha asti, but gataha nasti. So that is what we understand here. Now, in this case, we also say gataha nasti. So gataha abhavaha. So gatasya abhavaha. When the abhava of gataha abhava, whenever we describe the gata abhavaha, gata abhavasya pratiyogi. We use a term called pratiyogi. So we say gata abhavasya pratiyogi gataha. Whatever that abhaha, so yasya abhavaha asti, saha tasya pratiyogi. So the absence of the part is what we define it as a pratiyogi of the. So that's a pratiyogi word. So now let's go back to apply this karyam pragabhava pratiyogi. So what that means? Now a karyam, a part is formed. So how do you explain the part is formed? The pragabhava. Before that state, the part is not there. So only when a part is not there, a part is formed. So that is why there is a karyam of part creation. So for a part to be created, you have a karyam, you have a karanam, and you have a karanam. Those three things are going in that process. The karyam is the creation of the part that is coming into existence. And the karanam is the clay and the clay that is used, because that is the previous state of that clay. The clay was the previous state before the part was formed. So that was the karanam. And the karanam are basically the transformation of the part into its object. In transformation of the clay into its partner, so part. So that is what we call it as the asadharan karanam. So these are the three that are involved. And the pratiyogi is because the part was not there. In the not there state, the gatha bhavaha was there. The gatha bhavasya pratiyogi was the gataha. So it was not there in the previous state. And now, after the creation of after the karyam is complete, the part is created. Okay, so let's go to the next step. And this karanam. So now we delve into the karanam. The karanam has three different types of states. Karanam trividam, samavaya, asamavayi, nimitta bedha. So there are three types of karanam that can happen. That three types of instrumentation that can happen, or the cause that can happen. The three types are samavayi, which is a material cause, asamavayi, which is a non-material cause, and nimittam, which is the rest of the things, like material and without material, non-material, which is they also call it as the instrumental cause or efficient cause or whatever that is. So there are different terms used for it. So let's go through all the three of these types to understand how a karanam is there. So and most of the time we see the dravya means the object, substances are the reason for the material cause. And guna and karma are usually associated with the non-material cause. So this samavayi karanam, and so yat samavayatam karyam utpadyate, tat samavayi karanam yata tantavah patasya swagata rupadehe. So let's see what that means. Yat samavayatam karyam utpadyate, tat samavayi karanam. So this is what we call it as a samavayi karanam. Samavayi karanam means you have an inherent relationship. So previously we discussed about two kinds of relationship that is constantly used in the Shastra, which is a samavayi karana and a samyoga. Samavayi relationship and a samyoga relationship. There is an inherent relationship and there is a contact relationship. The inherent relationship means you cannot separate those things. They are existing as long as that object is there. A contact relationship is whenever you see something or whenever you, for that period of time, there is a contact that is there. That's called the samyoga. So in this case, we're talking about an inherent relationship. So for a cloth, the cloth has threads in them, the relationship between the cloth and the thread is inherent. The cloth is made up of thread. So that's etam tantavaha patatya. So that how the threads are related to the cloth. That is one example. The second example the Shastra itself gives is patatya swadaka rupadehi. So the cloth has its own color. So when you the color of the cloth and the cloth have an inherent relationship. So they are always permanent. So if you look at a saree, the saree is pink in color. The pink color and the saree are in a permanent relationship. You can use the same example for a pot. A pot has inherent relation. A color of the pot has an inherent relationship with the pot. The pot has this inherent relationship with its material, that is the clay. So that is how we understand as the samavayi karanam. That is the samavayi karanam. And what is an asamavayi karanam? Karyena karanena va saha ekasmin arte samavetatve sati yat karanam tat asamavayi karanam. Yata tantu samyogaha patasya tantu rupam patarupasya. So now we are trying to understand the relationship of the pinkness of the cloth. Let us say, we want to understand the relationship of the pinkness of the cloth. The pinkness of the cloth we are coming is because the thread that is used was pink in color. So now you look at the pink color. The thread has an inherent property of the color, which is pink in color. The saree has the inherent relationship with the thread, which is made up of the thread. So these two are inherent relationship, and these two are inherent relationship. The color of the saree takes from the color of the thread because both of them have an inherent relationship to this. So it is not a direct relationship. It comes through a different channel. There is a different locus that is needed to explain this relationship. So the contact of threads to produce a cloth, or the color of the thread is inherited in a cloth. That is an example there. The color of the thread is a non-material cause of the effect of the color of the cloth. And now, understanding more, we say the color of the thread is located in the same locus, the same location. The color of the thread has the same location, and as the thread, and because this is common in between, and you don't have a direct relationship, we call it as a asamavayi karana. And the next will be rest of the things that make up the cloth. How was the cloth made? How was the saree made? Everything else, we can, like a weaving machine or the weaver's imagination, whatever that happens there to get to that cloth, we call it as the nimitta karana. Tad ubhaya vinnam karanam nimitta karana. Yata turive medikam katasya. तदितं तन्निविध कारणमध्ये यत् असाधारणं कारणं तदेव कारणं. So now if you these three are there, so now you have the samavayi karanam, you have the asamavayi karanam, and you have the nimitta karanam. Among this, whatever that is the latest that is being used, that is whatever is the unique and that can be defined as a separate thing that can be used as a karanam. That is what we use. Whether it may be sometimes it can be samavayi karanam that can be there for a product to be made, or an asamavayi karanam can be there, or a nimitta karanam can be there. So all the effects are analyzed in Tarkashastra using this model of material, samavayi, asamavayi, and nimitta karana. So these are the three karanams that are used. Now let's go to the pratyaksha pramanam. So we understand how the pratyaksha pramanam is defined. Tatra pratyaksha jnana karanam pratyaksham. Indriyartha sannikarsha janyam jnanam pratyaksham. Tad dvividam nirvikalpam savikalpam cha. Iti tatra nishprakarakam jnanam nirvikalpam yata idam kinchit saprakarakam jnanam savikalpam yata dittoyam brahmanoyam yamoyam iti. So there are the pratyaksha karanam karanam is called a pratyaksham. That which we call it as a perceptual cognition, and that is what is called as a pratyaksha pramanam. Now, what is this pratyaksha pramanam? it is a Indriyartha Sannikashta Janyam Jnanam. So let's go deeper into that jnanam. And that pratyaksham has two different types, which is a non-verbalized form and a verbalized form. And in the non-verbalized form, how it is existing, like it is a vague idea that is being presented, and in the verbalized form, it is presented as a clear idea. So this is the gist of the sloka. Now let's go deeper into it. So now a person is looking at a tree. So what is happening here? So this person is looking at a tree. So this is a protection. He is using his Indriyartha Sannikashta Janyam. So the Indriya is the eye that is being used here. Maybe I should use a slideshow. Slideshow. Okay.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay. I think there is a way to, sorry. Yeah, I think there is a way to annotate it. I think that it's trying to find that. Yeah, I think it's here. On the pen. Okay. Yes. So this person is looking at the tree. Undo. Sorry. All right, let's do it again. View slideshow. So let's not annotate here right now. So this person is, you can see my mouse, I think, right? So I'll do this. This person is looking at the tree here. So what is happening? So Indriyam. So he's using the Indriyam. So we saw there are 5 different Indriyams, like Netram, Jishva, and nose, ear, and all those kind of Indriyams. So he's using the Indriyam here. Using the tree, using the eye, he's looking at the tree. So the pratyaksha is a result, that is, which is a tree. And there is a vyapara, there is a transaction that is going on. And that transaction, we call it as a sannikartaha. Sannikartaha means he's using his eye closer to, so that he can focus on the tree and he can see the phalam. The phalam is the vision that he gets of the tree. So that is how we understood this. Now, how does it really work as from the Shastra? So the individual is there. He has a mind in with him. The mind is associated with the sense organ. The sense organ here is the eye. Then the vishesham, that the object, then it looks at the object, it makes a connection to that object. The sense organ makes a connection to the object. If it's an eye, it looks at it. If it is a nose, it smells at it. If it is a ear, it hears. If it is a tongue, it tastes. So like that. If skin will touch. That kind of a sensation, that object sensation is happening. So when this is happening, so this is so the individual connects to the mind connects to the sense, and the sense connects to the object. And then first, at the fraction of this, I mean, sometimes it's a fraction of a second, sometimes it can be a longer time. So first there is an indeterminate vision that is happening, indeterminate idea, which is we don't know, something is happening. So let us say you are walking on a street and there is a wall in between or something that is coming there. So that is, let's say you cannot cross the street, there is a wall there. The first second, you see a wall and you determine that it is a wall there. But before that, your mind thinks about something as some objection is there, something is obstructing me. So for a fraction of a second, there is an obstruction that is happening. So that is what we call it as the nirvikalpa jnana. So nirvikalpa. After that, then you form a structure. Okay, the wall is there, so I cannot crash. Then it has a savikalpam state there. So vikalpam is an attribute. So we have to understand it very clearly. The nirvikalpa means we are in a state where there is no attribute that is given. I know some objection is there, some obstruction is there, but I cannot go, but I don't know what that is. So it's a vague idea. Then I know there is a wall that is preventing me from crossing the road. Or another imagination is something you go to in a cruise ship in the middle of the night, and there is total pitch dark everywhere, everywhere it is water. Suddenly you see a light, but you don't know what it is, but you can see something is there. There is some light is there. So that is a nirvikalpa state there. You take very vague idea of what is going on. When the ship goes nearby, then you realize, there is maybe another ship that is crossing, there may be an island, there may be something else. So that, when you can attribute an object to that, then it becomes a verbalized state, where it is called as a savikalpa. So the nirvikalpa state in the Nyaya Shastra is where it is very blurred. Your vision is your idea is blurred. Where it is, you don't know what is going on there. In the Savikalpa state, you can objectify it properly. So for all of you who are in the Vedanta section, it is a totally opposite side. You are supposed to be in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi to understand the highest object. The Savikalpa Samadhi, you are doing the transaction. Here it's the opposite. In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you don't know what is going on. In the Savikalpa Samadhi, you have a creation of this verbalized object that is there. So that's the whole cycle of how the Pratyaksha Pramanam works for us. So let me go through the sloka one more time. Tatra Pratyaksha Jnana, Pratyaksha Jnana Karanam Pratyaksham, Indriyartha Sannikashta Janyam Jnanam Pratyaksham, Tad Dvividam, Nirvikalpam Savikalpam Cheti, Tatra Nisprakarakam Jnanam Nirvikalpam, Yata Idam Kinchit. So the Idam Kinchit means that Jnanam which you have, okay, there is something there. That is what is called Nirvikalpam. You don't have any sense of what it is. There is something there. Some obstruction may be there, something may be there, that kind of a thing. For all of us, it's naturally occurring, but we don't take into effort of understanding these things. We immediately, our mind flashes with seeing the obstruction of a wall or a tree or whatever that is there. But before the tree, you see that, before we see the wall, before we see the shape or whatever it is, you always have a vague understanding of what is going on, something that strikes your mind. The second stage of that understanding is the Savikalpam. So then you have an attribute. In that stage, you say, Yata, I am Dittaha, so this person is Ditta. Or I am Brahmanaha, he is a Brahmana. Or I am Shyamaha, he is a black person. Or like that. Any name you attribute is given to that. All these things are coming after that point. So the first point is, first step is Nirvikalpam. The second step will be the Savikalpam. And the Savikalpam associates with the mind. So this is how the Pratyaksha Pramana, the structure of the Pratyaksha Pramana is explained in the Shastra. So, what are we doing with the time? Okay, can I go with this introduction and then maybe we'll take a break after this? So, the Jnana Hetu, the Pratyaksha Jnana Hetu, Indriyata Sannikashta, Tadvidaha. There are 6 different types of the Pratyaksha Jnana Hetu, the causes of the Pratyaksha Jnana. There are Samyogaha, Samyukta Samavayaha, Samyukta Samaveta Samavayaha, Samavayaha, Samaveta Samavayaha, Visheshana Visheshya Bhava Cheti. So there are 6 different types of the Pratyaksha Jnana Hetu, the causes of the Pratyaksha Jnana. We understand that with the Samyoga and Samyukta, both of them, they're interchangeable, how they are related to each other. And we'll go through one of these examples of each of them. And the last one is called as the Visheshana Visheshya Bhava, and that is associated with the Abhava Pratyaksha. So here after we'll be using the Abhava also, we saw the Gatasya Bhava, Gita Bhava. So how we explain that with the non-existent nature of the product also. So this last relationship talks about the Abhava nature of it. The first one talks about the existence nature of it. So, Chakshusa Gata Pratyaksha Janane Samyogaha Sannikashtaha. So the Sannikashtaha means as a contact. So the Samyoga Sannikashtaha is happening. When you are looking at a pot, that is the time that Samyoga is happening. So this is the time that relationship happens only when you are looking at the pot, or when you are touching a glass of water, in a glass of water, you touch the water. So during that time, that Samyoga Sannikashtaha is happening. Or when you are smelling the rose at that time, that particular time is what is happening. It's called as a Samyoga Sannikashtaha. Now you try to understand the pot with its color. So now you say it is a brown pot. Now I want to understand how the pot is brown. So we know pot, the relationship between my eye and the pot is Samyoga. It is in a contact. It is in a contact status, where the pot has its own brown color, which is an inherent nature of the pot. That is in Samavaya Sambandha. These two are in a Samavaya Sambandha. This is in Samyoga Sambandha. So, Gata Pratyaksha Janane, Samyukta Samavaya Sannikataha, Muktuhu Samyakte Gate Rupasya Samavaya. So now, this is in a Samavaya Sambandha. This is in a Samyoga Sambandha. So we call it as a Samyukta Samavaya Sambandha. That relationship is called as a Samyukta Samavaya Sambandha, because now you're trying to explain the part which is brown in color, that is, and the brownness is inherently related to the part. So another example is this thing. You're smelling a rose and the fragrance of the rose. So the fragrance of the rose, the relationship between the rose and the nose is basically with a Samyoga Sambandha. And the fragrance of the rose is related to the rose with a Samavaya Sambandha. So this is how Samyukta Samavaya Sambandha. That's how you relate. The fragrance of the rose that you're smelling, it is called as a Samyukta Samavaya Sambandha. Then the third one would be Samyukta Samaveta Samavaya. Rupatva Samanya Pratyakshe Samyukta Samaveta Samavaya Sannikastha. Chakshuhu Samyukte Gate Rupam Samavetam Patra Rupatvasya Samavaya. So now there is a third relationship. There's a third thing. So the color, there is the brown. We know that we have a relationship with the brown part. The brown part has a colorness. There's a property of the colorness of the brown part, and that also has a Samaveta Sambandha to that. So you have a Samyukta Samavaya Samavaya. So when you call it as a Sambandha, we call it as a Samyukta Samaveta Samavaya Sambandha. So this is a Samyukta Sambandha, this is a Samavaya Sambandha, this is a Samavaya Sambandha. So we call it as a Samyukta Samavaya, Samyukta Samaveta Samavaya Sambandha. Same example we apply to the rose. So the rose is having you smell a rose, that rose has a fragrance in it. The fragrance is an inherent relationship with the fragranceness of it. So you have this three are related together with the same Samyukta Samaveta Samavaya Sambandha. Now, to summarize this, we have another example how we are relating to the mind and the Jivatma. So suppose the mind says, I know, and it connects to the Jivatma. Mind is connecting to the Jivatma. At that time, it is a Samyoga Sambandha. Next is mind is connecting to the Jivatma. The Jivatma has an inherent nature of the happiness there. Sukham is always there. So inherently the Jivatma is Sukham. When you say I am happy there, so this mind has a Samyukta Sambandha with the Samyukta Sambandha with the Jivatma or Atma here, and the Jivatma has a Samavaya Sambandha with the Sukham. So this is I am happy or I am happy is that's how we understand as a Samyukta Samaveta Sambandha. The last one is the mind is in contact with the Jivatma. There is a Samyoga Sambandha. Inherently, that Sukham is there. The Sukham is inherently related with the Sukhatvam, happiness or happiness state, whatever you call it, that's the state. So these two are inherently related to each other, whereas the mind is in contact with the Jivatma to understand that. So I will stop here because the next is Samyoga Sambandha. I can continue from that point in the next section. Let me play the ending sloka and then we can open it for a discussion. Can you see my screen? Sorry. Can you see my screen? Or,
we don't see a screen yet.
No. Oh, sorry. I think I should. Sorry.
Even the audio is not coming if you see the audio, but audio, hopefully, I think Srini will finish it. So we have okay.
Okay.
शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I think I put the wrong slide. Sorry. Okay, this is the intro. So let me go to this one. So we'll finish. Okay. Do screen here, and then I do the. Yeah.
मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के, शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्यर के, शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके के, काल भैरवर के, काली दुर्गै के, वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिके, मल्लिकार्जुन के, செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே, அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே, ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே, ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே, சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே, வித்யாரண்யர் கே, विद्याशंकर के, वागीश्वरी के, वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के, श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के, तुंगभद्रै के, श्रृंगनिवासिनी के, श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகை கே, सच्चिदानंद शिव अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के, श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के, मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के, शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्यर के, शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके